last weekend, Dana and I, along with our sons and daughter, had the privilege of having a visit from a young family with two girls that Dana and I have known since 1990, when we began serving at St. Luke's Episcopal Church in Whitewater, Wisconsin. She had just graduated from high school in Waukesha and began her freshman year at the university in Whitewater. And we had begun there in August and began reaching out to students at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater as part of a joint Lutheran Episcopal campus ministry. And 21 years later, she is now married. I had the privilege of witnessing their marriage, and they have two daughters. And on Saturday evening after the 5 o'clock service, they came over to the house, and we were sitting there in conversation. And she said, as they were getting ready to leave, she said, well, I just want to tell you that the reason that Robert and I said to Robert that we wanted to come and visit with you is that I decided to sort of look at putting a bucket list together. And you and Dana are part of my bucket list. Because you know how challenging it is when you're a young person and you have a relationship with your parents, but you're also looking to find some people outside of your immediate family to support you and encourage you. And she said, which was quite humbling for Dana and me, it's because of your reaching out and welcoming me that I'm here today and that I'm in the Episcopal Church. And we were just humbled that someone would consider that to be true about us and about our family. Because, as you know, our family, from the outside in, all of us have a sense that, well, lots of other people are better witnesses than we are about the way we live our faith. The question that Jesus puts before the disciples is really a question that each of us is called to consider ourselves. How many of you have formed an opinion about President Obama? Can you raise your hands? Yeah. How many have formed an opinion about former Governor Tim Pawlenty? Can you raise your hands about him? How many of you formed an opinion about Mark Dayton, our present governor? Do you have an opinion about him? How many of you have an opinion about Al Franken, Senator Franken, Senator Klobuchar, Tim Walz? How many have an opinion about our current mayor in Rochester, Ardell Brady? Have you got an opinion about him? Okay. And I'm sure that some of you have met some of the individuals I've asked you if you had an opinion about. Is that true? And I'm also sure that some of you have not met people that you have formed an opinion about. Is that also true? Yes. How have you formed opinions about those individuals you've not met? Anyone?
From what you've heard about them.
From what you've heard about them.
What they've said.
What they've said.
What they believe.
What they believe.
What their friends say about them.
What their friends say about them. I'd add what their enemies say about them. Right? Right? So in the give and take of our life together as citizens, we're often encouraged, in fact, we're often required to come to some decision about what we believe about someone, even though we may not have met them. But we've taken in information, we've read. How many of you have an opinion about Lady Gaga? Yeah. You've heard about her. You've perhaps watched an interview on some, maybe MTV. But you've never met her. I mean, has anybody here met Lady Gaga? How many of you have met Archbishop Desmond Tutu? I've formed an opinion about him. I had an opinion about him before I met him, and that opinion even got better after I met him. The point I'm asking around these questions is that somehow or other, we're always invited to form an opinion about a person that we're in one way or another in relationship with, whether that be an elected official, our representative, our senator, our president, our mayor, our school board president, or whomever, or any other kind of public celebrity. And some of us may form opinions rather quickly, and others may take some time to sort of form some opinion, or may say, you know, I'm really on the fence about this. But for us as Christians, we're called to form an opinion personally about who we believe Jesus is. We're called to form an opinion personally about who we believe Jesus is. And unlike some of the people, or most of the people I mentioned, we don't have the advantage of heading over to Route 52 and waiting as the bus drives by and kind of waving, you know, on the way from Minneapolis to Decorah last week. There are sources that inform our information and inform our ideas, but somehow or another, we're invited to form an opinion about who Jesus is.